Healthcare is quite a conservative industry, so if we can allow or give some kind of policy helping us to adopt some first adoption or pilot case in Greater Bay Area, that will be a very, very advantageous to us.
Hi everybody, welcome to a new episode of Smart Talk. My name is Stefano. Before starting our show, please remember to subscribe to our channel. Today, I'm very honored to have with me three guests.
My name is Andy Wong. I'm the Head of Innovation and Technology from InvestHK.
My name is Justin from Gense Technologies. I am the CEO of the company. So we do a low-cost and portable medical imaging device that is targeted for home use as well as hospital and clinical use.
Hi, I'm Albert. I'm from Acesobee. I'm the CEO of Acesobee. We are a health tech startup focused in community healthcare.
COVID-19 has called healthcare systems and organizations worldwide to adopt digital healthcare solutions rapidly. Are we seeing this happening in Hong Kong as well?
COVID-19 is actually accelerated to driving more adoption of the digital technologies. In Hong Kong, we do see the adoption of telemedicine, particularly for teleconsultation from the hospital. It can be enabled by the 5G, particularly in Hong Kong. So some of the what we call smart hospital is using the digital technology to do a telehealth kind of operation for the patient, and also consultation by the doctor as well. The doctor can sit in the office, can be monitored for different couple of patients together. Definitely, this digital means is the front door for opening the door for the more people who can receive the medical consultation or treatment.
And you summed it up pretty well.
Yeah.
I'm just going to share one or two stories. Telemedicine obviously is one of the main things that we see in here, but we also certainly see a lot of assistance required for more than just telemedicine, because consultation is a very important aspect of it. But for it to go further, you do need a bit of hardware support. So all those step-by-step transformation from person-to-person devices to slightly remote devices, those transformations we're seeing quite a bit of more interest in Hong Kong as well.
The most important thing that we see the gap is a more requirement from the organizational-centric solution, which is a hospital-centric solution, to get into more patient-centric or community-centric solution, which is we see the needs. Especially in the COVID time, we try to empower the patient to take care of themselves at home or in the community, which is try to avoid the burden in hospital.
In terms of foreign investment, do you see any medical and healthcare industry trends under the pandemic?
We do receive a lot of inquiry, want to come to Hong Kong to invest in Hong Kong. But unfortunately, because of the closure of the border, so they cannot fly over to Hong Kong because of the Zoom or other technologies,
yes.
right? So we can have a lot of meeting, getting more easy to set up the meeting with our client overseas. We see a lot of interest coming, want to come to Hong Kong to look for the investment opportunity. For the healthcare, I would say that compared with other industry, it is more conservative. So because they want to make sure everything is safe, everything is secure before they deploy the solution.
Are there any promising advanced technologies that your companies are currently working on?
Now, what I'll do is probably a very short demo to talk about how this works. At the back of it, we do have a port here that would connect to a band that does measurement in real time. So for example, if I want to look at my lung functionalities, I will wear a belt around here, connect to this, and then I can see in the phone a list of instructions that I have to follow to do some dynamic imaging. It could be put in a hospital where you put in bedside, where you can monitor patients around the clock as well, so that you can have a lot more direct intervention.
Albert, can you share your story about your startup?
So our startup is really come from a personal story, a family story. My grandma is quite lucky. She got 5 kids. So that's why they can rotate to take care of my grandma. We use a WhatsApp to communicate, say that, oh, my grandma is go for dialysis. Another thing is quite interesting. My family, we have 2 doctors, 2 nurses, and 1 pharmacy. So you can see that how complicated in the WhatsApp discussion. So that's why, can we do something which is build a solution, how we take care of the patient, like how we take care of them in the hospital, which is the patient chart type. And so that's why there's the beginning of our solution coming into the market. The trend right now is moving, is always like this, is from the prevention to a diagnostic, to treatment, and also rehabilitation.
So because we want to control the whole cycle, particularly when we talk to the pharmaceutical company, they are not just focusing on the treatment, right? But they also want to focus on the early stage the detection. The telco, for example, you link up with the telco so that they can provide all those home monitoring system to prevent something really bad happening, right?
In terms of investment, medical and healthcare are relatively less popular among all other industries because of their longer investment return cycle. So what is your comment on this and why?
Definitely, the biomedical is talking about quite a long journey, maybe up to 10 years, particularly in the drug development. We have a very good funding support from the public, which is the stock exchange. We have the chapter, what we call 18A, which is specific for the investment on the biotechnical industry. 18A is whenever you have passed the FDA phase 1 clinical trial with the good result, then it's eligible to apply for that IPO funding. So it will shorten the time for the company to receive a much bigger financial support.
And are you planning to list also your startups as well?
Well, that's the goal, yes. We do see a sort of a mixed view, and well, at least from my personal experience, for sort of biomedical technologies. So we're sort of in between. We're not as long as drugs, but at the same time, being a semi-medical device, we do need a development timeline as well. So locally, there are not a lot of appetite in this sort of area simply because there are different opportunities in here.
Definitely, Hong Kong, I think for us now is a very good test bed because we've been leveraged a lot of different kind of funding. Like some of the project we deploy with the NGOs, so we can use the public sector trial scheme, which is mutual benefit for the organization, which they no need to really spend extra money, which is subsidized by the government to enjoy the early adoption of our solutions.
And what kind of support do you need?
There certainly needs to be a bit more of support in terms of getting things happening, because biomedical is already a very long journey. And there are obviously safe and balances that we need to have that sort of check inside, but at the same time, having different departments involved and speeding up a bit of that process would certainly help us get to the first step.
Healthcare is very conservative. They really want to have some reference for us to get into the market. The main challenge is how we get into our first customer. We are lucky that we work with Cyberport. We work with a different kind of government funding, which help us to step into this market more easily.
And we will see career inclination related to medical fields or overseas medical talents back to Hong Kong in terms of talent training.
Because my role is promoting Hong Kong.
Yes.
So I feel that I'm quite doing a very easy job because we have two very good medical schools in Hong Kong, yeah. University of Hong Kong, Chinese University of Hong Kong. And then we have very good clinical trial hub in Hong Kong. We do have a lot of very well-known doctors. So there's a lot of pharmaceutical companies want to leverage their network, have the patient to do study the drugs in here.
We do see quite a lot of new interest inside this sort of medical area, but having said that, the local talents we see from this area is possibly not as proportionally as much in other areas as well. So in our office, we have 8-9 nationalities all over the world. Quite a lot of those are educated in Hong Kong. So we do provide a very, very good education system. But in terms of the attraction to local talents into this sort of engineering field, into this medical field, there is still some room for improvement.
And how do you foresee the future collaboration between Hong Kong and the GBA area?
It's happening. So the infrastructure, because Hong Kong and the Greater Bay Area is just nearby. But in order to make the what we call 1 hour or 2 hour living circle, so we do have the bridges built and then the high-speed railway. It makes it more easier to commute between the two different sides.
Government just got a new policy that if for the GB business, if you require to employ Hong Kong graduate, you can get extra subsidy up to 10,000 per month, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
so,
yes.
so that's why we can see that the government is also encouraging that kind of interaction.
As you mentioned, because the graduate, right, if you feel that there's an opportunity in GBA, so that you can apply the funding from the government, subsidies of the salary, and then work in Shenzhen, and then experience yourself. And also there's for the professional people, the lawyer and also the tax professional or the accountant, then it become gradually, we will recognize your degree or your professionalism.
As I mentioned, healthcare is quite a conservative industry. So if we can allow or give some kind of policy helping us to adopt some first adoption or pilot case in Greater Bay Area, that will be a very, very advantageous to us.
One of the things that the government could consider, so things like RTH, we're targeted at only for part of the PhDs and part of its undergrad masters. We only target local schools. And for top mainland schools, they do have very good engineering candidates as well. That are quite Hong Kong focused. So building on that platform, we could expand it into including more schools, more talents.
We both mentioned about the public sector child scheme. If we extend that, it's not only public sector child, it's a Greater Bay Area child scheme. That will be also very significant to us.
And this is the end of our show. I want to remind to anybody who does not agree with today's opinion or with our previous opinion to challenge us and take part of our show. So thanks again to our guest. And we have a slogan. We say, through dots, we connect. Can you say for us?
Through dots, we connect.